My name is David, I'm 29, and I live in Chicago. For the last 2 years, I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend, Samantha. To most people looking from the outside, we look like the perfect couple. Smiling pictures on Instagram, weekend trips, dinners in nice restaurants. Everything about us gave the impression that we were solid and happy. But what people didn't see was that Samantha seemed to care more about the lifestyle than the relationship itself. She loved expensive brunches, new clothes, and little getaways whenever she felt stressed. I didn't mind at first. I was in love, and when you love someone, you tell yourself that spending money isn't a big deal. It's just part of showing care. I used to think, if she's happy, then I'm happy. That was my mindset for a long time. I believed that real relationships weren't about keeping score. If your partner needed something, you stepped up. That's what I did, without hesitation, without expecting anything back. About a month ago, I got a call from Samantha late at night. She sounded panicked, her voice shaky, like she had been crying. She told me she was in serious financial trouble. Something about her credit card debt building up and a friend backing out of a deal they had. She said if she didn't come up with money quickly, her credit score would tank, and she'd be in real trouble. I didn't push her for details. I didn't ask why she was in that much debt, or why her friend had backed out. In my head, none of that mattered. She was my girlfriend, and she was scared. That was enough for me. The next morning, without thinking twice, I transferred her $10,000. I didn't frame it as a loan, didn't ask when she could pay me back. I didn't even ask if she had a plan for how she'd fix things moving forward. I just thought, she's in trouble. I have the means to help. That's what partners do. When I told her I had sent it, she cried again, this time tears of relief. She kept thanking me, saying things like, "You saved me, David. I don't know what I'd do without you." Hearing that made me feel like I had done the right thing. It reassured me that I was a good boyfriend, that I was supporting her in a real, meaningful way. For a while, I even felt proud. I told myself, this is what love is supposed to look like. You stand by your partner when things get tough. The next couple of weeks after that were smooth. Samantha seemed lighter, happier. She even suggested a little trip together to clear her head. We went out more, laughed more, and it felt like maybe things were balancing out. I didn't think about the money much. I figured it was just one of those big sacrifices you sometimes make in relationships. But deep down, something about that situation left a small weight in my chest. I didn't realize it at the time, but part of me was quietly wondering, would she do the same for me? At that moment, I pushed the thought aside. I told myself it wasn't fair to even question it. Relationships aren't about keeping track of favors or turning love into a balance sheet. I tried to believe that if the roles were reversed, Samantha would have my back just the same way I had hers. And for a while, I lived with that assumption. I believed I had proven what kind of partner I was. I believed it meant something. But what happened a month later would completely change the way I saw everything. Not just Samantha, but the entire relationship itself. About a month later, life threw a curveball at me. My car broke down on the way back from visiting my parents. At first, I thought it was something small, a minor fix. But after getting it towed and checked, the mechanic handed me an estimate that nearly made me choke. Close to $3,000 for the repairs. I try not to panic. Normally, I could handle a big bill like that, but at the same time, I was helping my younger brother cover some unexpected medical expenses. He doesn't have much of a safety net, and I've always been there to support him when things got tough. Between his bills and the car repair, my savings took a hit. For the first time in a while, I felt financially stretched. It wasn't the end of the world, but it was stressful. And I thought, isn't this what being in a relationship is about? Having each other's backs when one of us is struggling? So, I called Samantha. I explained everything calmly, trying not to sound desperate. "Hey Sam," I said, "I've hit a rough spot this month. My car repair is a lot more expensive than I thought, and I've been helping my brother with his medical bills. Do you think you could lend me some money just for a month? I'll pay you back once things settle." I thought she'd understand. I wasn't asking for a handout. I wasn't asking for $10,000 like she had needed. Just a smaller amount to help me get by until my next paycheck. There was silence on the other end of the line for a moment. Then she let out this short laugh. Not a cruel laugh, but the kind that made it clear she didn't take me seriously. "David," she said, almost lightly, "that's your problem. I mean, I have money, yes, but I also need it for myself. I'm going on vacation with my friends next week, and I'm not going to cancel my plans for you. You'll figure it out." I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, completely still. For a moment, I thought maybe I misheard her. Surely she didn't just brush me off like that. Not after everything. So I reminded her, gently but firmly, "Sam, a month ago you needed $10,000, and I didn't even blink. I didn't ask questions, didn't hesitate. I gave it to you because I trusted you. Now I'm just asking for some help in return. Do you realize how unfair this sounds?" Her voice didn't waver. She just said, "David, I get it, but I can't give up what I've been planning for months just because you didn't plan ahead. Everyone has responsibilities. You'll figure yours out." The way she said it, so casual, so dismissive, made something shift inside me. It was like she was saying my struggles were nothing more than an inconvenience to her fun. I didn't argue with her. I couldn't. The words wouldn't even come out. I just sat there in silence, listening as she started talking about how stressed she was from planning everything for her trip. It was surreal. When we finally hung up, I just stared at my phone. My chest felt heavy, but my mind was racing. All I could think was, 1 month ago, I gave her more money than I've ever given anyone without even asking why. And now, when I need a fraction of that, she laughs and tells me it's my problem. That night, lying in bed, I kept replaying the conversation in my head. The laugh, the dismissive tone, the way she prioritized her vacation over my struggles. I told myself not to overthink it, but deep down, I knew this wasn't just about money. This was about the kind of partner she really was. And the answer was starting to become painfully clear. The next day, I called Samantha again. I wasn't angry. I just wanted to give her another chance to really understand what I was asking for. I thought maybe she had brushed me off without realizing how serious things were. When she picked up, her voice was cheerful, like nothing had happened. She talked about some new outfits she had ordered for her trip, how her friends were already planning what bars they'd go to. I let her finish before I said, quietly, "Sam, I really need to talk to you about yesterday. I wasn't joking when I asked for help. My car's repair bill and my brother's medical costs together are more than I can handle right now. I just need some support, like the support I gave you." For a moment, she didn't say anything. Then, she chuckled softly. "David, you're making it sound like I owe you something. We're in a relationship. That money wasn't a loan. It was just part of being together. Stop bringing it up like I'm supposed to pay you back or do the same for you. That's not how relationships work." Her words hit me harder than I expected. I was stunned. I tried to process it. Wait, so when you needed me, it was okay for me to give without question, but now that I need you, suddenly it's not about support. She sighed, like I was being difficult. "David, you're overreacting. You're being dramatic. You can handle this. I'm not going to cancel my plans just because you didn't manage your money better." That last part, "you didn't manage your money better," felt like a knife. I wasn't some irresponsible guy blowing cash on nonsense. I had stepped up when my family needed me. I had stepped up when she needed me. And now, instead of compassion, she was twisting it into a weakness. I didn't argue further. I didn't see the point. I just said, "Okay," and ended the call. But inside, I was boiling. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Sleep wouldn't come. My mind kept looping her words over and over again. "That's your problem. That money wasn't a loan. It was just part of being together. Stop being dramatic." It was like she had taken everything I believed about our relationship, trust, partnership, love, and tossed it aside with a shrug. I thought about the night she called me crying, desperate, saying she didn't know what she'd do without me. I remembered how good it felt to help her, how certain I was that I was doing the right thing. And now I was sitting here, realizing that to her, it was never about love or trust. It was about convenience. For the first time in our relationship, I asked myself the question I had been avoiding. Was she ever really with me for me? Or was it always about what I could provide? The thought made me feel small, used, and honestly humiliated. I kept thinking about the difference in how we treated each other. 1 month ago, I gave her more than I'd ever given anyone, no questions asked. And now, when I needed a little support, she brushed me off like I was an inconvenience standing in the way of her vacation plans. By the time the sun came up, I knew something inside me had changed. I couldn't go back to pretending things were okay. Something had broken, and I wasn't sure it could be fixed. By the next morning, I felt drained. I went through the motions of my day, but my mind kept circling back to that call with Samantha. I wasn't even angry anymore. It was something colder, heavier, a kind of clarity. For 2 years, I'd convinced myself that love meant giving without keeping score. But now I saw it differently. Love isn't about measuring every favor, no. But it is about knowing that when you fall, someone is there to catch you. What Samantha showed me was that she had no interest in being that person. That thought stuck with me all day. Finally, in the evening, I decided I needed to talk to someone who wasn't emotionally involved. So I called up a friend of mine, someone I trusted deeply. He's a lawyer. I told him I needed advice, not as a friend, but from a legal perspective. When we met, I laid it all out. How Samantha had called me in tears, how I had transferred $10,000 without hesitation, how she had thanked me, and how now she was brushing me off like it never mattered. I showed him the bank transfer, screenshots of her messages, and even some of the calls where she admitted I had helped her out. He listened carefully, then leaned back in his chair and said, "David, this isn't just about your relationship anymore. You have proof. You can make a case to recover that money. People sometimes forget that when large sums are involved, it stops being just a boyfriend-girlfriend issue. It becomes a financial one. You're within your rights to take legal action. Hearing that was like a light switching on in my head. For weeks, I had felt like I was powerless, like I had no choice but to accept her attitude. But suddenly, there was another path. I didn't have to sit there, humiliated and ignored. For the first time since all of this started, I felt like I had a little control back. My friend helped me draft the first steps. We pulled together everything. The bank statements, the proof of transfer, the screenshots of her thanking me, and the text where she admitted to using the money for her debt. He explained that even if I didn't win every penny back, just filing a complaint would put real pressure on her. It would force her to see that I wasn't going to be her safety net anymore. Something shifted inside me as we worked on it. I wasn't the same David who had said, "Okay," and quietly hung up the phone when she dismissed me. I wasn't the guy who kept swallowing disappointment and calling it love. By the time I left his office, I felt lighter, not because the problem was solved, but because I wasn't just sitting in silence anymore. I was standing up for myself. I knew this wasn't going to be easy. I knew Samantha would be furious. But honestly, I didn't care. She had made her position clear. She wanted my money, not my partnership. And now I was ready to make mine just as clear. I wasn't going to let her keep taking advantage of me. And as it turned out, things escalated faster than I expected. Just hours after my lawyer friend sent the first formal draft, my phone started buzzing nonstop. Samantha's name lit up the screen over and over. I didn't know it yet, but the storm was about to break. It didn't take long for Samantha to realize what I had done. 2 hours after my lawyer friend helped me draft the complaint, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Call after call, text after text. At first, I ignored them. I wasn't ready for the fight. But when the 20th call came in, I finally answered. The second I picked up, I had to pull the phone away from my ear. She was screaming so loudly, I could barely make out the words. "Are you insane, David? What the hell is wrong with you? Why did you go to a lawyer? Do you know what you've done? My father knows now, and he's furious. How dare you embarrass me like this?" I didn't raise my voice. I just let her go on. It was almost like listening to a stranger. Her words weren't about the relationship, or even about us. They were about her image, her pride, her anger that I had dared to stand up for myself. When she finally stopped to catch her breath, I said quietly, "Samantha, all I asked was for you to support me the way I supported you. A month ago, you cried to me, and I gave you $10,000 without hesitation. Now, when I needed a fraction of that, you laughed at me and told me my problems didn't matter. And you're angry that I finally decided I want my money back." Her voice turned sharp, full of venom. "You're pathetic. Do you hear yourself? You sound so small, so desperate. You'll never see that money again. Not a single dime. I'll spend every dollar just to spite you." For a moment, I just sat there, holding the phone, letting the words wash over me. Then something inside me shifted. I laughed. A cold, bitter laugh that surprised even me. "You know what, Sam?" I said. "That's fine. Spend it however you want. At least now I know exactly what this relationship meant to you." That only set her off more. She started throwing insults, saying things about me I won't repeat here. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about tearing me down, making me feel worthless so I'd regret standing up to her. But the strange thing was, I didn't feel worthless. I didn't even feel hurt. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of losing her, because I realized I had never really had her to begin with. I ended the call while she was still yelling. For the first time in weeks, I felt a strange kind of calm. The storm had hit, and instead of drowning me, it cleared the air. Later that night, my phone buzzed again. But this time, it wasn't Samantha, it was her father. His voice was calmer, though I could hear the weight in it. "David," he said, "I didn't know my daughter took that much money from you. I can't defend her actions. She was wrong. We need to talk. Can you meet me tomorrow?" Out of respect, I agreed. I didn't know what to expect, but I knew one thing. The conversation was going to change everything. The next evening, I met Samantha's father at a small cafe on the north side of the city. I didn't know what to expect walking in. Part of me thought he might defend her, or worse, try to intimidate me into dropping everything. But when I sat down across from him, his expression told me this wasn't about denial. He looked disappointed, not in me, but in her. He started without small talk. "David," he said, "I didn't know my daughter had taken that much money from you. $10,000, that's no small amount. And then to dismiss you when you needed help? That's unacceptable. I can't defend her on this." I sat quietly, letting him continue. He sighed and leaned back. "Samantha, she's always been reckless with money. I thought she'd grow out of it, but clearly, I was wrong. I don't know what she told you, but from what you've shown me, you've been more than generous. You didn't deserve to be treated this way." Hearing that gave me a mix of relief and sadness. Relief, because someone finally acknowledged what I had gone through. Sadness, because it confirmed what I already knew. She hadn't seen me as a partner, just a safety net. I'll make sure you get something back, he said firmly. I can't promise all of it right away, but I'll personally give you part of the money now. The rest, well, I'll try to sort that out with her. Within a week, he transferred $5,000 to my account. He told me he was covering it out of his own pocket because he didn't trust Samantha to handle it responsibly. Consider this an apology, he said, for how she treated you. It wasn't about the money at that point. It was about finally being seen, finally having someone recognize that I wasn't just being dramatic or unreasonable. Meanwhile, Samantha's perfect little vacation plan started to unravel. I found out through mutual friends that her father had cut her off financially after learning the full story. The credit card she was planning to use? Frozen. The funds she thought she'd have for her trip? Gone. She tried to reach out to me again, not to apologize, but to blame me. The first message came late at night. Because of you, I'm humiliated. My trip is canceled, my father is furious, and my friends think I'm broke. You ruined everything. I'll never forgive you. I stared at the screen, reading it twice. There was no hint of remorse, no recognition of what she had done, just anger that her lifestyle had taken a hit. I didn't reply. I didn't even feel the urge to. I just blocked her. That moment was strangely liberating. For months, I had been tangled in her expectations, her moods, her needs. But with one click, the weight lifted. That night, as I sat in my apartment, I realized how much of myself I had given up in that relationship. I had confused sacrifice with love, believing that if I just gave enough, it would all come back in balance someday. But now I saw the truth. Balance never existed between us. It was always me giving and her taking. And though I didn't recover the full $10,000, I gained something more valuable, a sense of clarity I had been missing for a long time. But the real closure, the part where I finally felt free, came not from the money or even from blocking her. It came from the quiet realization that I didn't need her anymore. After blocking Samantha, I sat in my apartment staring at the city lights outside my window. For the first time in 2 years, I felt an unfamiliar sense of peace. No buzzing phone, no panic calls about her latest crisis, no guilt hanging over me about not doing enough. Just silence. I thought back on everything. Every dinner where she picked the most expensive option without a thought. Every weekend getaway I paid for because we needed it. Every moment I mistook financial sacrifice for love. And I realized something. Samantha had never really wanted me. She wanted the comfort, the safety, the convenience that came with me. She had shown her true colors the moment I stopped being useful to her. And honestly, as painful as it was, I was glad I finally saw it. Her last message echoed in my mind. Because of you, I'm humiliated. My trip is canceled, my father is angry, and my friends think I'm broke. You destroyed everything. I'll never forgive you. That sentence told me all I needed to know. She didn't regret using me. She didn't regret dismissing me when I needed her. She only regretted losing the lifestyle she had built on my back. Blocking her wasn't about revenge, it was about freedom. I didn't want to carry her voice in my life anymore. I didn't want to be dragged down by her endless cycle of wanting more, giving less, and calling it love. Over the next few weeks, I slowly began to feel like myself again. The stress in my chest eased. I went for walks, reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in months, and started spending money on things that actually mattered to me, not on keeping someone else happy. Sure, I was still out $5,000, but I came to see it as the price of clarity. Losing that money stung, but losing more years of my life to someone like Samantha would have been far more expensive. The lesson hit me hard. Real love isn't measured by how much money you pour into it. A partner who laughs at your struggles doesn't deserve to share in your successes. And sometimes, losing money is far cheaper than losing yourself in the wrong relationship. Looking back, I don't hate Samantha. I don't even wish her ill. I just hope she figures out what love actually means one day. Because right now, she's chasing comfort without realizing that genuine care and loyalty can't be bought. As for me, I'm done confusing financial dependence with love. The next time I give, it'll be to someone who sees me as more than just a wallet with feelings attached. And when that happens, I know it'll feel different. Because it won't be one-sided. It'll be mutual. That night, sitting in my apartment with the quiet hum of the city around me, I made myself a promise. Never again would I allow someone to disguise selfishness as love. I closed my laptop, turned off the lights, and for the first time in a long time, I felt free. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.